A small boy once stood outside a big house, watching expensive cars enter through giant gates. He looked at his torn slippers, looked at that shining house, and asked his father, "Why do some people live like kings, and others struggle for food?" His father stayed silent for a moment. Then he said, "Because some people work for money, and some people make money work for them." That one sentence stayed in the boy's mind for years. He didn't fully understand it then, but he never forgot it. That boy grew up with one dangerous question burning inside him. How do people actually become rich? Not lucky, not famous. Rich, real wealth, the kind that changes generations. Years later, he found answers in How to Get Rich by Felix Dennis, a brutally honest book written not to entertain dreamers, but to wake them up. Because Felix Dennis did not believe in fantasy. He believed in truth, painful truth, the kind people avoid. And today, this is that story. Not just a book summary, but a real-life journey of what it truly takes to become rich. A story of ambition, failure, loneliness, risk, and the price of freedom. Because getting rich is not a motivational poster. It is a decision, and decisions have consequences. Let's begin. When Felix was young, life was not luxurious. No rich parents, no secret trust fund, no shortcut hidden under the mattress, just survival. And from a young age, he noticed something strange. People loved talking about success, but very few were willing to pay the price for it. Everyone said, "One day I'll start a business. One day I'll become successful. One day my life will change." But one day is a beautiful place where dreams go to die. Because one day usually means never. Felix understood early. The world does not reward intention. It rewards execution. You can tell people you're talented. You can explain your plans. You can post quotes like a CEO trapped inside a school student. But bills are paid by results, not dreams. That truth hit hard. Because potential is invisible. Nobody pays for what you could do. They pay for what you have done. That changes everything. Most people want the image of wealth, not the reality. They want expensive watches, not sleepless nights. They want first-class flights, not years of rejection. They want applause, not discipline. And money is smart. It knows the difference. It asks only one question. How badly do you want me? And most people answer, only if it's easy. That is why they stay average. Because wealth does not respond to casual desire. It responds to obsession, not interest. Obsession, the kind that keeps you awake, the kind that makes people call you crazy, the kind that makes comfort feel dangerous. Felix believed this deeply. If you want extraordinary results, you must become comfortable looking unusual. Average people protect comfort. Wealth requires discomfort. That is the first lesson. Now comes the second lesson. The biggest lie people love. Follow your passion. Sounds beautiful, also dangerous, because passion changes every Monday. Some days you feel inspired. Some days even opening your laptop feels like climbing Mount Everest. If success depends only on passion, you are in trouble. Felix said something smarter. Find what you are excellent at, then build wealth there. Not what feels fun, what creates value. Because the market does not pay you for excitement. It pays you for usefulness. You can passionately sing in the shower. That does not mean the world owes you a private jet. Harsh? Yes. True. Also yes. Rich people solve problems. Big ones. Painful ones, expensive ones. The bigger the problem you solve, the bigger the reward. People pay for speed, for trust, for convenience, for health, for status, for safety, for solutions. That is where money hides, not in dreams, in problems. A businessman once said, if you want to earn more, stop asking for money and start asking, what problem can I solve? That sentence changed lives, because wealth follows value, not wishes. Felix built his empire understanding this, not by chasing applause, but by becoming useful. That is how money starts noticing you. But usefulness alone is not enough. Now comes the word that scares everyone. Risk. Everyone wants success. Very few want uncertainty. People say, I want freedom. Until freedom comes without guaranteed salary. Then suddenly they become loyal to comfort. Felix was brutally honest. Employees buy security with limited upside. Entrepreneurs risk comfort for unlimited possibility. Neither is wrong, but they are different roads, and you cannot drive both at the same time. You cannot demand perfect safety and massive wealth. Life charges extra for both. So if your goal is real wealth, you must accept calculated risk, not stupidity, not blind gambling. Calculated risk, learning first, preparing well, then moving anyway, even while scared, because fear never fully leaves. Even rich people feel fear. They just move while afraid. That is courage. A shop owner once borrowed money to start his tiny business. Everyone laughed. They said, "You are risking too much." Today, the same people ask him for job opportunities. That is how life works. People laugh at risk until it works. Then they call it luck. Now let's talk about the most expensive habit in the world. Excuses. Excuses protect the ego. I'm not successful because I had no support. I'm not rich because life is unfair. I'm not winning because people are against me. Sometimes that is true. Life can be unfair, very unfair. But excuses are dangerous because they give away control. The moment everything becomes someone else's fault, your future belongs to them too. Felix hated this mindset. He believed responsibility is power, painful responsibility, but power. Because if your decisions created your problems, your decisions can create your freedom. That is hope, real hope, not fake motivation with sunset background music. Ownership, it hurts, but it works. Rich thinking asks, what can I do now? Poor thinking asks, whose fault is this? One builds, one complains. Guess which one changes life? Exactly. Now here comes a surprise. Saving money alone will not make you rich. Yes, save. Yes, be responsible. Yes, maybe stop buying useless things at midnight because they were 90% off. But no, saving alone is not wealth. You do not become rich by shrinking your life forever. You become rich by expanding your earning power. This is huge. Most people spend years trying to save 500. The wealthy spend those same years learning how to create 50,000. Different mindset, same 24 hours. Felix believed income growth matters more than tiny sacrifices, because there is a limit to how much you can cut, but almost no limit to how much you can create. That changes the game. Stop asking, how do I spend less? Start asking, how do I become more valuable? That question builds futures. The other builds frustration. But then comes the painful chapter nobody posts on Instagram. Loneliness. Success often creates distance. People romanticize wealth, cars, travel, luxury, respect. They forget isolation. When you become deeply focused, some people leave, some friends disappear, some relatives secretly hope you fail, because your ambition makes their comfort uncomfortable. That hurts, especially when it comes from people you love. Felix spoke honestly about this. Ambition can make you lonely, not because success is evil, but because growth creates separation. Your mindset changes. Your priorities change, your tolerance for wasted time changes, and suddenly, old conversations feel heavy. Not because you are better, because you are becoming different. Many people choose approval over freedom, because rejection hurts quickly, but regret hurts forever. Choose wisely. And then, the truth nobody wants to hear. Money does not fix you. People think, when I become rich, I'll finally feel enough. Dangerous idea, because money magnifies. It does not heal. If you are insecure, wealth can make you more insecure. If you are arrogant, money can make you unbearable. If you are empty, luxury becomes expensive decoration around loneliness. Felix understood this deeply. Money gives power, not peace. Peace is different work. Inner work, character, meaning, purpose, relationships. You cannot buy those like shoes. That truth shocks people, because many chase wealth hoping it will rescue them emotionally. It won't. It improves options. It does not replace identity. So, build wealth, but do not worship it. Use money. Do not let money use you. That difference saves lives. And finally, the biggest question. Why do you want to be rich? Seriously, why? To impress people? To post luxury online? To win approval from strangers who forget your name tomorrow? Too small. Felix challenged readers to think deeper. Wealth should serve purpose, freedom, family, creation, protection, legacy, something bigger than ego. Because if money becomes the goal itself, you may get rich and still feel poor. That is the saddest success story. The goal is not money. The goal is the life money can protect. Miss that, and you can win financially while losing. So, what is the final lesson of how to get? It is simple. If you truly want one, stop looking. Stop asking. Stop collecting motivational quotes like trophies. Start, learn, risk, fail, adjust, repeat. Because rich people are not magical creatures. They are often just ordinary people who decided uncertainty was better than regret, and they kept going, while others kept explaining why they couldn't. So tonight, before you sleep, ask yourself one honest question. Do I want to be comfortable, or do I want to be free? Because sometimes, you cannot choose both, and your answer may decide your entire future.